Hey guys, it is Faith, and I am going to today be teaching you how to play Arco-ology. It sounds like this is one of your guys' newer pieces. Lots of fun. We've got some good things happening. The way that I would start looking at this, as always, what I would recommend, I would go ahead and listen to it first. There's good recording on J.W. Pepper that you can listen to. So I would recommend starting out listening to the music as you follow along in your sheet music. The second thing, as always, that I would recommend you do is look at your key signature and your time signature. And with this exciting piece, you will notice, voila, you have a different time signature. So in this one, you are going to be playing in 2/4 time. It's so scary, but it's not. Instead of counting in 4, you're just going to count in 2. It's as easy as that. And my guess is, if you're smart enough to know how to count to 4, then you can definitely count to 2. So, with that being said, then as you're listening to the music and looking through it, as I would always say, again, I'm just quoting my past selves here, look at your dynamics, look at your bowing, and look and see if there are any crescendos or decrescendos. Look and see if there are any different articulations like bow lifts, or anything like that. So yeah, I am going to start by playing Arco-ology at a concert tempo. The metronome right now is at 120 beats per minute. So yeah, let's just start out with that, and we'll go from there. So there you go. That is Arco-ology at a concert tempo. So that's what it will, once you practice, that is what you should be sounding similar to. So I will, let's see, for practice tempo, I would recommend starting at about half that speed. So set your metronomes when you're practicing to about, let's go 60 BPM. So on my metronome, I have it set to 60 beats. So now that sounds like, that. And also what I would recommend with your metronome, I don't know if you have a space on your metronome. On mine, I have an option to how many beats I want. And as you can see, I'm set at 2 right now. Your metronome will typically be set automatically to 4 beats per measure. So for this piece, since you're in 2/4, you'll want to change that if you can, or if you're just really smart, just divide in your head. So yeah, I am going to look through here. Okay, so for first violins, measure 41, pretty easy. You're just bowing on A over and over again. And basically, you just want to make sure that that's articulated well, and there's some dynamic contrast there. I'm running out of time with my video. The space is about to run out, so I'm going to see how much I can get in here. Recording. So this is part 2. Welcome back to my channel. I'm kidding. Arco-ology, part 2. And kind of a brief recap since it got so rudely interrupted. We're starting playing at the practice tempo now. So now you are at 60 beats per minute, with 2 beats per measure. So looking through here for first violins, if you look at measure 41, you guys are playing a lot of the same note over and over again. You play A, I don't even know how many times, it's a lot. And it seems like that can be really boring, you know, you're just bowing on the same string, but it's really important because you guys are actually, like, if you think percussion, you guys are the drum line for this section. So as the first violins, you typically have the melody, but you don't in this section. Right now, you are just being the drum line to keep the tempo steady. So it's really important for you guys to be counting right and make sure you're on the beat every single time. With that, you don't want to get lazy. If you're, you know, practicing your instrument and you should be bowing like this, and then you start getting bored because you play A 1,000 times and you start bowing like this because it's so boring, it's not going to be good for everybody else. So make sure that you're staying good posture, even though you're just playing the same note. You want to make sure that that articulation is still really good and that you're still holding the tempo. So that being said, then if you jump down to measure 65. Measure 65, you have a lot of dynamic changes happening all at the same time. So you start going at mezzo forte and measure 65, and then you have a great big crescendo into measure 66, and from measure 66 you continue crescendoing all the way up to measure 69, where then all of a sudden you reach forte. So you want to make sure that you're dragging out that long crescendo up until you get to that forte point, and then you'll stay forte. And then if you'll notice in measure 71, there's a little arrow looking thing under the note. That's your accent. So in accent, you want to think of like punching the note, like kindly, because we don't like aggression, but like punching the note and really making it stand out. So you want to make sure to accent that note, and then you have your rest, and then in measure 72, you want to finish accenting that F sharp. With that F sharp, you want to make sure that it's very in tune, because that's the last note that you're going to be playing. So if it's not in tune, and it kind of sounds like, and everyone is playing a different version of F sharp, it's going to sound kind of crappy. So you don't really want that. You want to make sure that that note is super in tune and super crisp for a good finale. Let's jump back up to the beginning. In the beginning, you have a lot of a back and forth kind of with the cellos and violas. So if you'll notice in measure 3, you guys have 2 measures of rest. So you guys are going to start out the song by doing your boo, 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 and then you're going to rest, and the cellos are going to play that back to you. And then you're going to kind of hear that back and forth for the rest of the song. But yeah, those are the big things that I would point out to you. You want to keep in mind your different bowing articulations. So you have some breath marks, which is just, you know, lifting your bow off of the string and pausing to let the sound ring. So you'll like that. And you want to make sure that you're following through doing that, because it gives a cool little lift, I guess, to your sound. So let's just go at measure 25. Yes. Sorry, I had to move mid-lesson. But there you go. That is kind of your quick intro to Arco-ology. It's a fun piece. Have a lot of fun with it and make it super unique. And as always, happy practicing.